bullshit to me. That sounds like bullshit to me. That sounds like bullshit to me.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, over the last few days, a lot of people have been sending me all kinds of information about this CSRQ system, asking me questions. So I have had time to go over this. People want to know if this is legitimate, what it is they need to know about it. So now that I've done my review, I will give you my opinion on it, share some information with you that I think you'll be interested in, and then you could draw your own conclusions, okay? Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Okay, so this is the website that everybody kept sending me to, because on here is all the information about this system that we're getting ready to talk about. This is oculumlabs.com. When you first get on here, it says Oculum Labs, prepare for the Great Reset. And my first thought was, are they with or against the Great Reset? No biggie. If you come down here, they have the about right here. Oculum Labs, founded by Bill Sweet, is focused on finding pathways and solutions to navigate the coming great and financial reset. So this gives me the impression that on this website is plans on how it is we can survive and get around what's coming from the Great Reset. That's the impression it gives you, but that's not what's going on. So usually whenever we're dealing with people who are black hats, white hats, whatever you want to label them, okay, the story is that somebody named Gideon, that's not obviously their name, is working with some whistleblowers who are stress testing the CSRQ system, okay? So this is how they came across some information that they leaked out to the public. So Gideon is the point person on this. He's our hidden hero, okay? So anyways, you come over here. There are some drop-down tabs. You can go and read a bunch of different information. Now, this is unusual whenever we're dealing with black hats versus white hats, good guys versus bad guys. You don't usually see any kind of contact info. So that's cool. There's an email there. And then they give you an address. Both of these, of course, is a red flag for me. That's because the person Gideon, we're being told, comes from the intelligence field. So if this is the official website and you're putting on there an address and an email, they can use these things to track you down, especially with the information we're about to go over. So most people just bypass the address. I don't. I went to look it up. I put it into Google, found out that the address belongs to a company called Orisa International. Same address, wrong company. So I went to see if Orisa was real, and sure enough they are. They got a few locations, including in Vietnam, and this address does not match the other address. That's okay. It could be one is mailing and the other one is physical. Even so, that's a red flag as well. So right away, when I got to this first page, two things caught my attention. When I looked up the address, it does not belong to anything called Oculum Labs. And the fact that there's an email on here where you can reach these people, and they're supposed to be part of this team that's leaking sensitive information from this company. That's a red flag to me too, especially when you're claiming that your front man has an intelligence background. You go over to this page right here, it says the sovereign accounts of the rich and powerful exposed. Okay, right when I first saw this, I almost fell on my chair, started laughing. So the story is that these people accidentally, while doing the stress testing, I'm talking about the whistleblowers, they came across what they're telling us is hidden classifications for the rich and powerful. You see, you're going to be putting these classifications, but there's one called sovereign, and it comes with a lot of benefits, okay? So what they did was they searched for people's accounts, and when they came across them, they took pictures of the screen with their account information on there. Here's an example of one. This is Gavin Newsom's. It says United States of America, biometric ID number. There it is. USDR, which they're saying is going to be the currency of the future. And it has how much money is in his account over there. Why it's blurred out, I have no idea. It would make sense to me that the biometrics number would be the thing that's blurred out. Next thing down below says account type, sovereign. Okay. Here's where my background of working in the corporate world as well as healthcare for 27 years becomes a benefit. So when it comes to healthcare, anytime you start a new job at a healthcare facility and you're put into the system, you're automatically assigned a unique identification number. The reason for this is it keeps track of anything and everything you do within the system. And that's important to know right now. Going back to this picture is supposed to be an example of one of the accounts they came across. Where it says account type, it says sovereign. That's not an account type. What it should say is classification. So right away, the fact that the cabal paid for the system and that part is wrong makes this very questionable. It shouldn't be account type. It should be classification. Account type is something totally different. It says account limits. No. That again is another red flag for me. What do you mean account limits? What type of account limits? It's not very specific. Asset limits, no. So my guess is when it says account limits, that is how much money they can have in their accounts. What it should say is USDR balance limit, asset limits, but it won't say no, it'll say none. So the fact they got no on there is suspicious as well. Vaccination status, I get it. Carbon score, I get it. It's there. That's good. But then all of a sudden down below, you got this little edit account button. That's ridiculous. So they're trying to tell us that this is just one example of a person's account within the system that they have, and we're supposed to believe it comes from this cabal system. You know, the cabal, they have unlimited funds, and this is their example of an account. So let me ask you this. Do you believe that this is the example of a person's account from a system that was put together by the cabal? Or does this look more realistic? Yeah. See what I'm saying? Obviously, this doesn't come from that. This is an example of what we use in a hospital. You have the person's picture there, but it tells you everything else about them. Full name, address, state, phone number, work phone number, email, gender, marital status, education, you name it. Everything is in here. Date of birth. And it's important for us in healthcare because we can run specific reports off this information if we need to. And if the hospital is going to be this detailed about a patient, how detailed do you expect the cabal to be? This is what they're trying to convince us comes from that real expensive system instead of this. Yeah, I don't believe that. This is as fake and phony as it is. The wording is wrong on here because I know how accounts are set up. You have Jordan B. Peterson with no information. There's no information on this individual whatsoever. There could be multiple Jordan B. Petersons that come out of Canada, but they do have their own unique identification number, which I said every time you get put in the system, you do get your own unique number. It keeps track of everything you do within the system. Keep that in mind because that's important. So when I saw this, I was like, that's just bullcrap. All right, right off the get-go, I was like, this doesn't come from any account called the CSRQ SM system. Okay. The other thing is these people are a group of patriots, is what the story is, that's working with somebody that comes from the intelligence field. Okay, no problem. But now you got to convince me that your special secret intelligence agent allowed you guys to publish this website, because we know it's bullcrap. Nobody from the intelligence would allow you to put this type of information or an ugly website like this up. There is sentence structure issues. There is grammar issues in here, misspelled words, and some of the most embarrassing things to point out to you guys that's going to prove that these people are full of crap. It says in here, this story, IT programmers, aka white hat hackers. Yeah, okay, we're still using the whole white hat thing. Okay, so IT programmers. So these people are programmers. Hired to stress test the financial reset, CSRQ SM software, have exposed the exclusionary class system being implemented within it. They did not agree with it, and they have blown the whistle. It says over the course of many months, they searched different individuals within the software to learn about their classification. There you go. And took screenshots of their results. Okay, let's back up just a little bit. You said for several months they searched different individuals within the software. So your men are able to look up these accounts and see who is who in terms of classification. Gideon says, yes, it's part of their job. They can pull up any person on Earth and most of the time find them easily. They became distressed when they realized so many politicians, celebrities, and media figures were all sovereign class. Anyways, they go on and they kind of tell a story of what happened, which I think is interesting to see how they're talking. You can tell right away that Gideon does not have a background in the intelligence field. They say he does, but he doesn't. That was a red flag for me. They have a page called the frequently asked questions. Of course, you go through here, there's the question, and then they give their answer. The issue is when you go through here, some of these questions you're like, what the hell? What's this have to do with this system at all? Why would anybody ask these questions? And why are they answering those questions? These are supposed to be the frequently asked questions about the financial reset and the CSRQ SM software. It should say system. So I'll skip all the questions and not bore you with them and get to the good stuff. So in here they tell you that the new currency, the one world government currency, is going to be called the USDR for FYI. What is the class system in the CSRQ SM software? So it goes on to say there are 4 classifications: common, restricted, and quarantine. So you gotta dig the proper grammar here. Common, restricted, and quarantine, and sovereign. You mean common, restricted, quarantine, and sovereign. Too many ands. It goes on to say that along with this system, they're going to adopt a China version of the social credit scoring. They also say that the sovereign classification compromises less than 1% of humanity, and that it is a hidden classification and highly classified. It will never be disclosed to the public, but yet they disclose it to the public. So why make that statement? It doesn't make any sense. It should say something like, this is something that was not supposed to be disclosed to the public. So we get to this first crazy question. So we're talking about a system that monitors all of your banking and financing transactions, as well as keeps track of your credit scoring. But yet, for some strange reason, out of the blue, a bunch of people asked this question, so much so that it ended up under frequently asked questions. And that is, what will happen to my assets? What are you talking about? Why would you ask a question about assets? So this part didn't make any sense to me. But the way they answer is kind of fishy too. They will be seized and or they will simply no longer exist. So what does that mean? It will no longer exist. Like you're just standing there holding the painting and boom, it just disappears. As there will be only one currency, USDR, which may be renamed later on to XDR and SDR, are possibilities. If you're not able to transition your assets into the new currency, they will cease to exist. So none of that makes sense. What do you mean transition your assets into the new currency? So if I have a painting, how do I turn that into the new currency unless I sell it? What happens if I don't want to sell it? Private property will be seized. Gold and silver will exist, but will be priced in USDR. That's just common sense. If there's only one currency, it would be priced, and you mean valued, in that currency. If you are a Class C, R, or Q citizen, you would not be allowed to trade it or own it. Therefore, its worth for those citizens will be irrelevant. What the hell are you talking about, irrelevant? it wouldn't be irrelevant at all. It would be used for bartering, so it has value. Bartering will be banned. Oh, is that right? And stiff penalties will be put into place for those who engage in it. Whoa, what a quit inking, huh? You like how these people just have these answers there. No, they can't stop bartering at all. It can never be stopped. What you're trying to do then is mess with the survival of citizens who are trying to barter to survive. You would seriously get an uprising. But they're not going to be able to stop bartering just as much as they can stop drugs today. Who or what are agents? Why would they ask these questions? They are paid shills, disinformation operators, and agent provocateurs who work for the cabal. Their job is to infiltrate groups like ours, to disrupt them, and ultimately destroy them. Why would somebody ask this question? What does this have to do with the system at all? It doesn't. So the fact that this happens to be one of those most frequently asked questions is very suspicious to me. So who is Gideon? He has a background in the intelligence field. He has multiple connections between our group and the whistleblowers with access to CSRQ SM software. You mean a system. He has requested his exact professional background not be disclosed, which makes sense. Who is behind what we are doing? We are comprised of multiple patriotic individuals brought together by Gideon to ensure we can coordinate a plan and respond to the coming reset. This is weird because this is a lot of the same lingo I remember Charlie Freak using whenever he was claiming to be working with John F. Kennedy Jr. And he's done this on multiple other times as well. So when I first read this, I was thinking, oh, good Lord, probably Charlie Freak put this together. I mean, it's just my opinion. I'm just taking a guess. I have no proof. It says, presently, those who are public or semi-public include Bill Sweet, Dark Days, Survive the Reset, and Michael, the admin of our Telegram groups, video channels, and other platforms, okay? Michael also proofreads. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Either that or he doesn't know how to spell or do proper grammar. You got to love this, though. A number of non-public individuals are also working hard behind the scenes to help us and coordinate with us. Okay, a number of non-public, you mean a number of private individuals? Is that what you're trying to say? And you chose non-public instead? Okay. That's a red flag for me. Now, here we go with the stupidest questions in the world. And why would people ask these questions when it has nothing to do with the system? Are you associated with QAnon? Really? That's one of your most frequently asked questions. The answer is no. We consider QAnon to be the disinfo operation being conducted by the cabal. Nobody's going to ask them about QAnon. I don't go down to my local grocery store and go, hey, before I buy here, you guys associated with QAnon? Okay, I don't do that. Are you associated with just Sarah Nacera or the quantum financial system? Oh, good Lord. This is just made up. Well, I don't know. Maybe that might be a question they ask considering it's a new financial system. And they consider the Nacera, Jacera, and QFS to be disinfo operation conducted by the cabal. To me, these are just taking pop shots at people they believe to be their competition. Are you associated with other outside group? You mean groups? Where's the S, Mike? Take care of that. That's a dumb question. Are you a religious group? Wow, really? That's one of your most frequently asked questions. People want to know what kind of religion or if you're associated with religion. I don't think so. These are all red flags to me. The funny thing is they ask if Gideon has contact information, like email, website, social media, the whole 9 yards. It says that Gideon does not have any kind of contact info for the public. But down here it says, however, we do post official communications from him in our Telegraph announcement channel. The only source of official Gideon communications will be through this website, the Telegram channel, and our video channels. So let's just say for the sake of it that these people are being honest and they are fighting the cabal. It's white hats versus black hats. Okay? Now you just told everybody where they can find you and track you and monitor you. Not very wise. And why I don't think you have a real intelligence person there, because they would have been like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Can you really change the classes of this CSRQ SM software? This is where they expose themselves as being frauds. Can you really change classes in this CSRQ SM software? They're talking about people's classifications. The answer is so far the whistleblowers have been able to successfully do so, though they said the process is relatively risky and must be done with care in mind. Oh, is that right? It goes on to say whose classes have been changed. You mean whose classifications? Okay. While they were nice enough to provide you the individuals whose classifications have been changed. Gideon's, Bill Sweet's, Dark Days, Michael's, and a few others among our group have been successfully changed to sovereign. Okay, so now we know which your classification has been changed to. Can I have my class changed to sovereign? The answer is we are awaiting word from Gideon whether there will be plans to do this or not. Emailing us is a good option. If you wish to inquire about this, you can write to Bill or Michael. See, that's when they're going to tell you how much they're going to charge you. So don't be surprised if they ask you for money. But now they just went on the public website, and what did they do? They told the whole world plus the cabal who they are, where they can be reached, what they've done, and what they have the ability to do. All dangerous. This is why I know these people are full of crap and are fake. Really, this is one of your questions. Are you trying to charge fees or sell subscriptions? But there is a part of this answer that is really mind-blowing and the biggest red flag to me that tells me that these people are fake and frauds. It goes here and says, in fact, we're trying to expose scammers like QAnon leader and child molester, and they name a guy, and the guy's name is Phil. I won't go say his full name. Really? Phil, if you're out there and you see this, let me say this. The fact that they slandered you here for the whole world to see and called you a child molester, and if they don't have any evidence, I say you take them to court. This is ridiculous. Also, no person from the intelligence world would allow this type of crap to be on the website. I'm telling you right now, they wouldn't. This would bring on so much attention to their website as well as heat, and they don't need this type of crap. It's easy to track down who all these people are, and if Phil took them to court, they would all be exposed. Have you spent money to promote yourself or paid anyone to promote you? We're talking about a financial system that monitors you, along with social credit scoring. What difference does it make about this? This is how you know it's fake. What kind of, these are the frequently asked questions. This is all bullcrap, you guys. This is all fake, just so you know. So when I went through these questions, I heard the answers, I knew right away it was just a fraud. These people are a fraud. They're lying, they're making up stories. Nobody in a right mind that comes from the intelligence world would allow this web page to be posted. So then we come over here. They have a whole other page that says the complete list of sovereign gatekeepers. Wait, didn't you say this was hard to get into and that the public will never see this information, but yet you have it here magically on your website? Now let me show you hypothetically how easy it would be to not only be able to identify these people, but have them rounded up and executed all within an hour. Easy. You ready? Let me teach you. Pay attention to this paragraph. The individuals below were searched and their accounts found by whistleblowers in the CSRQ SM software. Over the past 8 months from December 2021 through July 2022, they include a number of suggested names given by Gideon and Bill Sweet. This is good to know. So on this particular page on their public website, they got a list of individuals that they're leaking to the world. Now, the interesting thing about this is you see Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. You see how their status is sovereign? What they're implying is these people are actually the bad guys. They're implying that they are part of the cabal. That's what they're implying here. Because the only people who are going to get the sovereign are those who are part of the cabal and allies of the cabal. That's it. So they're implying here that a lot of these people are actually bad guys. So here's a list of names. We're going to come back to that here in just a moment. TV personalities. Also, they have a list of celebrities. Look at Tom Hanks, Nicole Kidman, Business leaders, look at, they got Jeffrey Epstein there. They're implying that Jeffrey Epstein's not dead. But here's the thing that gets me about all these names. Aren't these the same names that we were told were taken to Gitmo, tried by a tribunal, and executed? And now their clones are running around. So are you trying to tell me now that all those stories about Gitmos are a lie, or that their clones are somehow getting classifications? Okay, these people can't make up your mind about what it is you want to do with all these politicians. It's crazy. Anyways, now let me show you how I would do this. This is how I know they're lying. Oh, here's the other funny thing here. Look at this. Suspected sovereigns, so they have no proof. They're suspecting. What are the odds of that? Look who is on the list. They're implying that these people are sellouts, shills, cabal is what they're implying. Dave of XR22, Mel K, Juan O'Savin, Simon Parks, Charlie Ward. To me, this looks more like a hit piece than anything else. But yeah, it's funny that they should go after what I believe is these people's competition in the YouTube arena. Then they're stupid enough to go down here and go, for additional analysis, we strongly recommend the Mike, I thought you're supposed to be doing proofreading. The exceptional channels, 7 grains of salt 3 and 7 grains of salt 5. You ready? Watch me go to work. Here we go. Let's say for shits and giggles, I am a boss in the cabal, and I read this website that you guys posted and made public that lays out beautifully everything that you guys have done and what you plan to do. Not only that, you tell me how I could reach you and how I can monitor you. Not very smart. You said that a group of whistleblowers that is working with my company right now on the software. So to me, that's like music to my ears. Let's pretend like it's Monday morning and everybody's now at work, including the whistleblowers. Remember I told you that when I work for a hospital, whenever you go to a new facility and you're a new employee and you get put into the system, you get assigned a unique identification number. The reason for that is it keeps track of everything you do within the system. That's the same everywhere in the corporate world. That's important. Remember I told you that would be important to know? So here I go. I am now the boss within the cabal. Let me show you how I work. I get a hold of IT. I tell them to come up. I tell them I want them to run me a report. And on that report, I want a list of all the names of people who made edits to personal accounts and changed their classifications to sovereign. Then I want you to run me a second report that shows me from December of 2021 through July of 2022, anybody and everybody that signed into this list of people's accounts. Because that's what it says up there. It says that these people went searching and got into these accounts and got the information. So when I get the report, I can look at who made all the edits. It has a unique ID number. I have the people looked up. Now I know who was making changes to the system. Then I look at the other report and it tells me a list of all the unique identification numbers that went into these specific accounts from the date range of December 2021 through 2022. I take a look at those specific ID numbers and see if they match up with the other ones. It won't take long before I'm able to match up all the whistleblowers. I tell security, go round them up right now. I want you to go through their emails, their phone books. I want you to see who they hang out with at the company. Then I want them dragged in as well. Then we'll beat you half to death, get you to talk, and then execute you. This web page is a fake. Nobody in their right mind from the intelligent world would allow this particular web page to come out like it is. All you did is expose all players involved, what you done, and what you plan to do, and how you could be reached. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Anybody out there that's believing their stories, that they are somehow magically exposing things, and you believe that this is what each individual's account looks like in the system, you know, we're talking about the cabal, the richest people in the world, and this is the best they can come up with a little edit button down here instead of looking like this. Yeah, okay, right. Look, this whole thing is a sham. You know, once you start talking about the ability to change somebody's classification so that they're free, they don't get vaccines, they can have unlimited assets and money, then you would definitely be a person who would be in demand by the public. The CSRQ is not real. The Gideon person is not real. There are no whistleblowers. This, to me, in my opinion, is a fraud, a fake. Just be careful. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. I'll catch you later. I'm out.